Yo, live on location, everybody. Me and the blackest one here, staying at home, staying safe and out of the way in Orlando, Florida. And today, this is so super special and dope to the both of us. Y'all don't know how deep this go, man. We got our super OG, one of the original Chi-Town killers, man, represent a super duper big time college champion,
World
NBA champion, and he need to be in the hoop hall in my book, and he definitely Chicago royalty when it come to this thing. We got Walk Dog, Cyber Toine, employee number 8, Antoine Walker in the building, everybody.
Thanks for having me on, guys. I appreciate it. Been waiting. Been a long time coming for me to be on your show, so I'm excited about it, baby. Let's get to it.
Brought to you by AT&T 5G.
When you first got to the league, who was the first person to bust your ass?
Man, that's a tough question, man. My pride would say nobody bust my ass, but you know what? Honestly, I'm gonna be. The first person to bust my ass was probably Scottie Pippen, man. My first game was against the Bulls, '96. So you gotta imagine, for me, I was a Bulls fan for the first 3 championships, loving them. And, man, my first NBA real game was against the Chicago Bulls. So it was Scottie Pippen because I was a 3. When I came in the league, I played the 3 position. So I got my workout in, man. He took care of me really, really good. But I would say Pip, though. But that ain't bad, though. I take that for Pip.
Hey, top 50 all time.
Yeah, I take it for Pip. But it was Pippen because I played the Bulls the first game of the season. But he the one bust me up my game.
What was it about Pip that you fresh out of college that kind of threw you off? Was it the IQ? It wasn't nothing he was really doing special. He was just smarter than you.
No, I'm gonna tell you what, his defense, he had long arms. D, I like to play with the ball. So,
right.
Rookie, I'm just trying to figure out how to score in the league. This is my first game. I'm trying to play with the ball. No, off my leg.
Right.
He get deflections. You know what I mean? You got to be aggressive with the ball. And then another thing, athletic ability. They get to your shot. You gotta have a little trickery to it to get there. So all those little things played a part that made him tough for me. Pip was one of the best defenders out there.
Coming up in Chicago got a lot of high schools and a lot of high schools with a lot of deep history. You know what I'm saying? And what made you choose Mount Carmel out of all the other high schools you went to? King was a powerhouse and all these other schools are powerhouse. What made you choose Mount Carmel?
Man, that's a great question. A lot of people never ask me that, but for me it was different. So when you came out, you get ranked as the top 8th grade in the city and all that. So I was considered one of the top. So back then you could play on high school teams in the spring league. It used to be spring and summer league, and so I played in the spring league with King. I wanted to go to King. King had the jackets. They had the Nikes, the Dunks. You know what I'm saying?
Jackets them Letterman jackets, King had.
Hey, listen.
Straight up.
All I cared about was getting one of them jackets. So it was crazy. So I'm like, man, I don't know if you guys know Chicago history. So I played with King in the spring league. So it was Tunji Thurman at point guard, Michael Herman at the 2.
Boy.
I was at 3. Thomas Hamilton and Rashad Griffin was our starting 5.
Out of there.
That was
out of there.
I was at King. So I played with King in the springtime, and I think I might have played with like Lynn Bloom, a couple other schools just to get a little run. But honestly,
just get a little run.
Just to get a little run. But you know what? Honestly, D, I wanted to go to I played baseball. A lot of people don't know this. I played baseball up until I was a freshman in high school. So Simeon was on the list too. Simeon had one of the best baseball programs and basketball. So I was thinking about going there. And I'm gonna be honest with you, man. My mama stepped in and was like, look, you ain't going to public school. So she was like, you ain't going to public school, man. You talking about I cried like a baby, man, every day. I was like, I cannot believe I can't go to King or Simeon. And she just wouldn't let me go, man. I couldn't get past it. So I took my entrance exam at St. Rita.
Wow.
And I took it at St. Rita. And then all of a sudden I changed my mind because Mount Carmel was an easier way for me to get to school. I could go down the Boulevard, 55th, get to 63rd. And we still had to deal with gangs and all that. So I had to figure out how I was going to get to school every day.
Actual fact.
So Mount Carmel, Mike Herter, who's my head coach, who's one of my best friends as well, he picked me up for school every day. I met him on 55th every day. I had to be there like 7:05, and he took me to school every day. Once they agreed to do that and pay half their tuition, I was on my way, baby.
Hey, tuition.
So it's crazy. It's not like a big story behind it. I cried to go to public school. I wanted to go to King, but my mother wouldn't let me go, man. She made me go to Catholic school. But I went to visitation too, which was, a Catholic school, grammar school. So she just was big on, not putting me in the public school. I thank her to this day for it, but I really wanted to go to public school, man. But I cried. But King had the jackets, the gym shoes. You know how hard it was not to go to King. And then on top of that, it was all boys at Mount Carmel. All boys school. Man, I almost
I spent that 1 year at Brother Rice when you was a senior, and I dealt with the same thing. So I relate. I got up out of there though. I got up out of there.
Yeah. So but it was good though. I thank my mom to this day for that, because it was the best thing for me, man. With all the gangs and violence, and we made Mount Carmel a little small powerhouse, so it was good.
Last year, I had the opportunity to. I never played for him. Me and Q were Illinois Warriors guy, but I had the opportunity to just go and pay my respects to Mr. McIrvin last year at the funeral and all that stuff. And, man, I just remember just the impact that McIrvin had on Chicago, on Illinois, and so forth. I remember he used to tell me all the time, like, man, we don't know how Butler found you in Illinois, like, because we would have really went after you. And just McIrvin was just always just a part of the culture of basketball, and it's going to always be the part of the culture of basketball for hundreds and hundreds of years. But just tell me how the McIrvin family, like from high school and on, just was a part of your life, and how they supported you through everything from Miss Irvin to Mr. Irvin to all the kids, the family, and this program. Just tell me how they just was a part of your life, and how you probably wouldn't be here without the McIrvin.
That's the second family. You hit all those things on the head. I think for me, first personally, it started at the age 11. I met Mr. Irvin at 11. Obviously through Mike, me and Mike became friends. Young kids playing baseball and basketball. We moved around a lot when I was growing up, and we actually moved to the hundreds. Mr. Irvin, everybody know the legendary house, you know what I mean? Mr. Irvin was on 111th. 109th and Parnell.
102. Yeah.
It was like 109th, I think, right in between there and Parnell. So
same street as me.
Yeah.
Same street. I'm on 115th. They down the street.
Yeah. So, and me and Mike became really good friends. So I started spending a lot of time at the Irvin's house, just casual, just kids being kids, video games, kicking it. And then obviously through high school, me and Mike built a really strong relationship. And Mr. Irvin became a father figure for me. I played for Irvin Bryant and them in the beginning, AAU basketball. And then Mr. Irvin started his programs. We had the connection with Sonny Vaccaro. There was an Adidas program. And the relationship just kind of took off there. But it was actually how he really said, how he started my career. I was always ranked in the, top 100. But my junior year, the AAU program system changed, where you didn't go play. They didn't have where you can go play with different states. You had to play with your own state. I would say camp. I'm sorry, it's ABCD camp. Not even AAU basketball. It's ABCD camp. So Mr. Irvin picked the 10 kids to go. So he picked the 10 kids. Obviously, I was one of the 10 kids. And I don't know if you guys remember this guy. The guy who played at Julian was a point guard, OJ McDuffie.
Oh, yeah. I remember the Juice Man.
Yeah. So OJ gets hurt the first day of camp. And I swear to God, Mr. Irvin was like, man, threw the ball at me. It was like, you my point guard. Now, y'all got to understand, I'm 6'8". You know what I'm saying? I can handle it, you know what I mean? But he was like, you my point guard. And once he put me at point guard, for the next 4 days, man, I tore the camp up. I'm talking about triple doubles, score. I'm doing everything at camp. And my stock went from top 50 to top 5 in the country. And at that time it was Felipe Lopez, Gerard Ward, Willie Mitchell, who else was in that class? Stephon Marbury, all those guys was in there. So I didn't jump the fence on everybody. I done had a monster camp. And that was the start of it, man. Just the fact that he believed in me, that I can play point guard. At that time it wasn't a lot of big guys handling the ball. And I played pure point. Like, it wasn't like point forward. I'm like out there orchestrating and handling
Right.
and doing. Just took my play to a whole nother level and confidence level. And I just started getting recruited by everybody in the country.
Yeah.
Everybody.
So that was that's the summer going into your senior year.
To my senior year, yeah. So every team in the country started recruiting me now. I left that summer, man, it was amazing. I had 10 home visits. I did 5 official visits. And it just
got to take all your visits. You got to take all your official visits. You got to go and see what they going to do with you.
You know, I got to take my official visit. You know, I got to see what the guys on the team going to do for me.
Yeah.
I got to have a little fun. So I took out my visits, but now I'm in college. Everything is good. So it's time for me. We win a national championship. And this is how close me and Mr. Irvin is. We win a national championship. And I'm kind of in limbo. I'm hearing rumblings that I could be in the first round lottery pick, but I'm thinking about coming back my next year. They saying me, Tim Duncan, Keith Van Horn going to be the top 3 picks the following year, my junior year. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I just one day, you know how you see guys. I ain't gonna lie. Tony Delk and Walter McCarty came on campus. They were seniors. They came on campus with Range Rovers. I'm like, what? They got Range Rovers. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, I gotta get to the league. I'm looking at these boys on campus. So I called Mike. I say, Mike, man, let me talk to your dad. Called Mr. Irvin and was like, Mr. Irvin, I think about coming out. And he was like, hold up. Let's do the research. So Mr. Irvin called Sonny Vaccaro. Sonny did his due diligence, called me back in 48 hours, like, man, you a lottery pick. And I was like, what? And then I talked to Mr. Irvin again. I said, man, you think I should come out? Can you help me talk to my mom? And he helped me talk to my mom and was like, man, we're going to come out. I came out, ended up being the 6th pick in the draft, you know what I mean? And then after that, it's been history. Obviously, AAU programs, I've been connected to it. Whatever Mr. Irvin is needed, I've always been there. Mike lived with me my first 6 years, so y'all know how close me and Mike are. My first 6 years in the league, Mike lived with me. Obviously very close to Nick and Cindy. I mean, the whole family as a whole. I consider them my second family. You know, last year was tough on all of us. Losing the mom, Louise, is always tough because, you know, she's been the rock. She's the one I dealt with the business part, with all the AAU stuff. Just the one you deal with and make sure everybody's good. So I still to this day, we're all very close. Mr. Irvin is somebody that is very special to me. I had the great honor to speak at his funeral, which was very special to me. Gave me an opportunity to speak at his funeral. So he is the basketball guru of Chicago. I mean, he's the guy. And y'all know this, and you guys have been a part of this. I mean, think how many kids have came his way that he's helped out.
Yep.
Even shoes. If you need a pair of shoes, where were you going?
Mm-hmm.
If you needed a sweatsuit, where were you going? He was going to Mr. Irvin. And that's something that I always remember. And he's very close to my family, my mom and everybody. So we're close to that family. And this, I'm glad they finally, you know, people are starting to acknowledge what he did for the city of Chicago.
You know, we part of the Illinois history, and man, like even though we didn't play with the Irvins, like they was always there. You know what I'm saying? Always there. Even though it was Nike, Adidas, like they was always there, and I always respected the family, that Irvin name. You know what I'm saying? It was always gonna be respected.
You remember once upon a time early on, the Irvins and Butler were together. So, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I actually played with Nick. And I also, so from that standpoint, yeah, that was when we was early on, we were with Adidas. I done been down in the basement to get kicks and how you know where all of the shoes at. Come get you a gym bag, a sweatsuit, and some kicks. So I definitely am one of those kids that know what you mean and that benefited from it. Like I say, they house was like on 109th and Parnell. I was on 115th and Parnell, same street, straight shot down.
Man, how you get past them? Larry Butler.
LB. I'm telling you, LB came and that was you know, like Mac the Godfather and LB the whatever you want to call it, but he held it down big. We got about 30 pros from the program, so the Warriors was real heavy and strong. LB, if it wasn't for LB, me or Black wouldn't be here. Point blank, period.
LB, my man. I love LB. I never played for him. It's the same way. It's vice versa. I never played for him, but I always had enough respect. I know he's one of the basketball gurus of Chicago too. Low key. He just kind of left the game early.
Yeah.
I think I don't know. Y'all obviously not a better relationship. I think he couldn't handle all the fight back and forth for players. I think he got tired of that.
Yeah,
Nah.
that get tiring.
Yeah, I think
That take a
rules.
Yeah, it take a man of a mindset to deal with all the shoe companies, the recruiting, like everybody, and deal with these kids. It take a lot, and that can stress somebody out. That's why I so much respect for Mr. Irvin, and not just Mr. Irvin. He brought his family into that. You know what I'm saying? His whole family was part of his program. It wasn't just
Nick coaching
Mr.
in
Irvin.
college now.
Yeah, look at it now.
Shout out to Nick.
Lance of Chicago State. It's in the blood. It's in the stream.
Could it have been anybody else than Kentucky? Like, did you almost go somewhere else and get took? Because I took a trip to Kentucky, and the shit I seen in Kentucky was like, shit. but out of the whole trip, they told me they finna play Tayshaun. I got to play behind Tayshaun Prince, and that blew my whole trip. You know what I'm saying? But who's the other team that probably could have got you?
I'm gonna be honest with you, and I wanted to go to Michigan, and I'm gonna tell you why though. But you gotta remember, my class, I came right behind the 5'5". You know, Jawan, Chris Webber. I'm right behind him. The baggy shorts, the black shoes, the
right.
Whole vibe was me. Steve Fisher still was the coach.
Like Tractor Trailer, Mo Taylor, and all those guys?
Mo Taylor signed there, yeah. So it was kind of the same guys going in the same position. You know what I'm saying? At that time. But it was Michigan. I actually thought about Illinois would be the second school. They still was coming off early 90s, but they was coming off the Kenny Battles, Kendall Gill. They was coming off that crew. So, and you got to remember, Jimmy Clemens was the assistant coach.
Mm-hmm.
So Jimmy talked that language that we wanted to hear.
Yeah.
You know, so you had to entertain Illinois, and those probably were the top three schools. Down the line, maybe a DePaul because they was home. DePaul was good back then when I came out. A really good program, but I thought about UNLV too on the low. Riley Massimino. Dave, and I'm gonna tell you why I thought about them. It's crazy to now, and I always laugh, and I can't wait till I see him. Is Jay Wright. Jay Wright was the assistant. We had assistants. So Jay Wright, man, I went to Vegas. They picked me up in there. I'm on campus driving the golf cart, man. I'm like, man, this how college is. I'm on campus driving the golf cart. So I'm like, man, this might be what college is. So yeah, I went to those schools, but Michigan was the one because of what they had already started, man. And Jawan stayed to his junior year too. You got to remember, Webb, Jalen left early, but see, Ray Jackson, Jimmy King, those guys were still, there.
Yeah.
So I really thought about, going there and play. But then Kentucky, man, I ain't gonna lie, Mashburn was my favorite player, one of my favorite players.
Mashburn used to bust my ass in the league.
But you got to think about Mashburn. He was 6'8", 6'9", like us. He can handle it, crossover. He can shoot the three. He can shoot the three.
I was about to say, definitely could shoot that thing.
And the crazy part about it, and you got to think about this, look at what I did. I went there, and Coach P gave me the man number. I really got excited.
Yeah.
24, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, we ain't retiring. You number 24. So it was one of those situations where I wanted to be there, and that style of play was like perfect for me. They shot the three. I wasn't really big on the pressing part, but they play,
right.
You know what I'm saying? They playing fast. So I was like, man, this is where I want to be at. And that's really what made me pick Kentucky. Obviously, Coach P was overwhelming with the conversation. He gonna never always entice you to do that. And then that 24,000 they play in front of all blue and white.
Man, crazy.
They had the Wildcat Lodge. That was the only campus that I went to that all the players stayed together too. That was big. They had the Wildcat Lodge. When you went on your visit too, we
saw it.
We seen.
Oh yeah, Big Nas was there when I went on my joint. Moo Evans was my host, and Nas was them too.
So you know what I mean? That was the only place that you went to where the players stayed together. Like out of all the colleges, you ain't really see that. So I was like, man, this dope.
Them facilities, period, was crazy. They was crazy. Like, you going there, like, I remember when I was there, it was like a fight or something that weekend or something. We went to, like, the locker room to kick it and watch it there, like, slushy machines with Gatorade. I was like, man, what, they got big world power? Like, this like league stuff, boy.
Yeah. And hey, listen, man, that was incredible. You take a peek down there now, you're gonna be like, man, something's going on. They got them a hotel now. They got a boutique hotel now.
Man,
that's how sexy they is down there now. But yeah, that was deep. But that was to answer your question. That was the reason why I picked Kentucky, man. Over, Michigan was the one school I wanted to go to because of what they had started, the culture and everything that they had built up there. But then Kentucky just kind of fit me and what I wanted to do basketball wise. Like I can come in. He told me, and then another thing, coach was like, Mashburn going pro. He coming out, so you're gonna have an opportunity to come in and get some minutes. And I was like, man, this is the perfect spot, and that's how I ended up in Kentucky.
Tell me this though. I know you. I can remember I was about a freshman before you left, but I can remember you back then. You had confidence and you was cocky. Mm-hmm. How long before, like when you got there as a freshman, how long did it take before you knew, like, okay, like I'm one of the best players here, and this ain't this. All right, I'm about to be cool out here.
2 parts. The first part was, I would say, SEC tournament my freshman year when I got MVP. I went through the year, and people don't understand. So the beginning of the season, I thought it was gonna be sweet. Y'all know the 2 exhibition games you play. I had 20 both games. I'm like, this college, I'm one and done. I'm like, this
right.
Man, we play opening night. I played about 8 minutes. I say, what? Man, coach played me 8 minutes. I couldn't believe it. So my first half of the season, I was only playing 8 to 12 minutes a night.
Right.
So I was already pissed about that. So I never forget. I went in at Christmas time. We get a break. I went in the office and talked to coach. I said, man, this ain't what I expected. He told me, go home, think about what you're thinking about. He was like, but if you need to leave, you can go ahead and leave. There was no resistance. I was like, my pride was hurt. Like my whole
you thought you were gonna be trying to coddle you and convince you or something.
Yeah, he didn't do nothing. So I'm like, you know what? They said you got to sit out the next year. I'm like, nah, I can't sit out. So I went back. The season went along, and then he eventually gave me my opportunity, man. We went into the tournament, and I played. I ended up getting MVP. So that was the first time I got my confidence. But what took me over the top, you know how the team going to tours. You go your European tour. So that summer, going into my sophomore year, was our European tour. So we went overseas, and, man, I averaged about 25 a night over there. We played about 8 games, and, man, my swag was like, man, I'm ready. Like,
can't wait to get back to the States.
Yeah, I'm ready. Like, I'm like, we number one in the country. We ranked number 1 in the country. My swag
had a crew. Y'all had a crew.
We played Maryland. Opening night. We beat Maryland. We used the UMass the second game of the season. Now, I'm going to tell you a funny story. So when I came in, Coach Pitino told me I don't start freshmen. That was a rule. He said, I don't start freshmen. So opening night, my sophomore year, Ron Mercer in the starting lineup. I know I'm from the crib. Now, y'all know I ain't no hater. But I had to hate. I had to hate. I ain't going to lie. I went to office like, Coach, you told me no freshmen start. Ron Mercer start. Man, the man took Ron Mercer out the starting lineup, man. I felt bad, but I had to hate. I had to hate, man. I was like, Coach. Man,
I have never known this, bro.
Yeah, he said, hey, no freshman start. So I was like, look, man, I got it. Coach, you said no freshman. So he took Mercer out the starting lineup. And then after that, he told me, he said, look, I know you can score. I know you can do all these things. He said, I need you to sacrifice. He said, we're going to win us a championship, and you're going to reach all your goals. And I just kind of bought in. As the season went along, I bought in. And, man, we was unbelievable. I think we finished 36-2. We was winning by 25 points a game. Our stats look crazy because we didn't play the last 10 minutes a game.
Right.
And our practices was harder than the games. I'm not going to front. Like, our practices used to be so hard, way more than the games. Dealing with Coach P every day in practice was harder than dealing in the game. We used to blow people out, man. This last 7-8 minutes, man, we sitting on the bench cracking jokes, man. That's how we was that good, man. We was talented, top to bottom. We had 10 pros on that team that ended up making it to the NBA. And then the other guys, them other guys were either McDonald's All-Americans or played overseas.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So they all played professional basketball, all of us. So we were just that good. But, man, that's crazy. Like, you asked me that, man. I was like, man, but it took those 2 times. That summer and the going overseas and playing kind of built my confidence. It took my swag. And then you know what, too, D and Q? I was in the best shape of my life. If you guys know how Pitino system was.
Yeah.
I came to school 190. I left at 232. Like I put 40 pounds on. Like it was different. Like I was in the best. I felt like I could do anything once I got there. I could run all day. We pressed all day. Like once I got that first year under my belt and learned Coach P, learned the things I could get away with, what I can't get away with. You know that. Learning how to kick it, still get up, get my schoolwork done. You know how we got to figure out everything to get our motor together. So once I figured that out, man, it was hard for me to leave, man. That was the hardest decisions I've had in my life.
How was it to win it all? Like to, you know, we them coaches come in there and be like, man, I think we're gonna have a good chance to compete for the title and all that stuff. But you actually went to college and got you one. Like how was that to win it?
Let me tell you, so because it was special with me because when we came out of school, which is a little different, Kevin Garnett kind of paved the way for you guys. Y'all came out of high school. But for me, it was about going to school, going to college, playing the NCAA tournament. That's kind of like what we look forward to. Mm-hmm. So like I was excited about like going to college. Like me and Donovan used to argue and be like, who gonna go to the better school? Like that used to be the conversations at camp and all that. So when I got to school, I was like, man, now we got a chance to play in a tournament, get a feel for that. My first year, I went to the Final 8. I lost to Rasheed Wallace, Jerry Stackhouse.
UNC.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So
we played with Jeff.
Yeah, so I lost to a crew. So I was like, man, I couldn't wait. So winning it was unbelievable, man. It was like the best thing I ever had. That's what made it so hard because we was preseason favorite to do it again. We had everybody, besides Tony and Walt, the whole core was coming back.
Yeah.
And guess what? They went to the national championship game without me. So imagine if I still left. They lost in the championship game and then win it the next year in '98. So, I mean, it's one of the best feelings in the world, man, to win national. It's something that if you don't, and I'm sure you wish you would have went to college, D. You know how this is. I mean, I'm sure I hear LeBron always talk about wish he would have went to college.
Yeah, Mr. Experience. When you hear the fellas talk about the experiences they have in college and all that stuff, they be like, man,
you only miss it doing March Madness, man. You ain't got nobody to root for, man. You only miss it doing March Madness. That's the only time you miss it. But that's one of the best feelings of my life, man, winning the championship there. And I actually won the other ones, but you know how it is. You got to make those decisions, the life decisions. But that was one of the special moments of my life.
You said you weren't gonna come out, and you decided to come out, but you decided to come out in the greatest draft ever.
Man, you know I'm glad. I argue that all the time, but go ahead, finish it.
No, you don't gotta argue it because what we telling you on Knucklehead, this is the greatest draft ever. Just the guys that was on that draft. Like I remember that draft. Remember just getting in high school and just seeing just the star power, and then you just look back on it and just see the careers that all them guys had. Like, you know, being in that draft and being around that and that iconic slam photo of y'all all together. Like, that's one of my favorite slam photos of, like, y'all standing together at that draft.
Man, I just take the history to it. Just when I put my name in the draft, it was just hard. How many good small forwards. It's funny. We had a workout in Minnesota, and it was like they brought me, Sharif, John Wallace, Walter McCarty. They brought all the wings in together, like, and threw the ball in the middle. Was like, y'all play one-on-one. Like, it wasn't no workout. It was one-on-one. Like, I was like, man, this draft was so heavy. Like, so many talented guys that do so many things. Like, you remember Dante Jones? He was tough. He was in there for Mississippi State. Like, I mean, it was
Dante Jones.
And that's what made it. That's what made it special, man. Like, made that draft special. I remember going through my draft process. I worked out from 2 to 11, and that process was so hard, man. I never worked out like that a day in my life. You couldn't duck your workout.
Yeah.
Like, you know, this ain't like the new age guys that work out by themselves and they just do drills. Now you had to get in there and get grimy. Like, you had to go one-on-one. You had to play against guys. They want to see your toughness. And that's the one thing I remember. And then that draft, we got to know each other for 1 week. You know, you get out there early.
Yeah, New York, yeah.
Yeah, you get all your photos and everything. But I had just a lot of respect, man, like for AI, Canby. Played Canby twice. So, I knew how good Canby was.
Yeah.
Brief Abdul Rahim and and Marbury, and I've been in camp with Marbury a lot of times, Ray Allen. So I've been around those guys a lot just through AAU basketball and camp. So it was a special moment. And to be able to get picked 6 through all those guys is just think about it. Steve Nash and Kobe Bryant, 2 MVPs, 2 Hall of Famers. Think where they got drafted at. That's how deep that draft was.
Yeah.
And I reflect on that. And people be like, man, do you think? I'm like, man, I was just happy to say I'm in a class where 3-4 Hall of Famers going to be in there, maybe 5, couple MVPs. I mean, it just speaks volumes how great that class was. I thought I was always being biased. I would always argue. I argue with guys all the time about that. I always think people think I'm being biased, but I think the 96 class from top to bottom, even if you dig into that second round, it's guys that have productive NBA careers in that 96 draft.
Did you think you was going to get drafted by Boston? Did you think it was going to be somebody else? You thought you was going somewhere else?
You know what? Boston had the 9th pick. So the day of the draft, they moved up to 6 to get me. And actually, I didn't think I was going to Boston. And because that was the easiest workout I had out of all of them. So I thought they didn't like me. No, seriously, I worked out for about 30, 40 minutes.
Wow.
But the crazy part about my workout, Red Auerbach, Dennis Johnson, Casey Jones, Larry Bird, Tommy Heinsohn, Bob Cousy, JoJo White. These are the guys that's in my workout. Like just there, you know what I mean? At that time, ML Carr was the head coach and GM of the team. So ML Carr was the head coach and GM. Then you had Casey Jones was the head assistant. Then you had Dennis Johnson, who was the second assistant. Yeah, so you got to think of all these personalities, all these big names, Hall of Famers working me out. And I actually worked out for 30, 40 minutes. And then they brought me in the room and just kind of asked me a bunch of questions about the game of basketball, about myself. So I didn't think that was going to even be an option for me. You know what I mean? Just because I didn't work out long. Every other workout was 2 hours, 2.5 hours. So I'm like, man. So I didn't think none of it. And the day of the draft, they traded Eric Montross to Dallas and moved up to 6. And my agent tapped me and was like, man, you're going to Boston. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, really? It was like, yeah, you're going to Boston. So happened I wore a green suit that day. I remember this. I had a green suit on, and everything just kind of matched up. And the great thing about me going to Boston was that Dominique Wilkins people don't even know that Dominique Wilkins was the man, him and Dino Roger. They had just had Dominique Wilkins go. So I was going to come in and start right away.
Yeah.
I came in and started. I started all 82 games when I came in and got an opportunity to play big minutes. Yeah. So that was big for a rookie. You know what I mean? Yeah. It was only a few of us playing those type of minutes. Me, AI, Ray Allen, Stephon Marbury. Only the top 5 or 6 of us was playing those type of minutes early on in the season.
Tell me how it is. Well, how was it? Because, I mean, just like you, we as kids, we sit at home and watch every NBA draft and dream to get drafted and stuff like that. How was that experience for you, being able to be invited to the green room and you got a chance to walk across that stage and shake Mr., God bless his soul, Mr. David Stern. You got to shake his hand and have that moment that everybody when you growing up, that's like a symbol. Like that's one of the symbols of success, or you made it. Like how was that moment for you?
Man, the best moment in the world. I still remember them days to right now today, like it was yesterday. I remember the phone call, the letter saying, "Come, you invited to the draft. You can only bring people." And I'm sitting with my mom trying to pick out the 10 people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, on the real.
Hey, and then it's so bad. I'm dating a girl in college. I'm like, man, should I bring her? Do I need to bring her? You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm going through the whole process. Like, man.
Yeah, for real.
Just that whole process of who you gonna bring to the draft was the first part, and then the whole week leading up to it. Just being there in New York with the other guys. I'm doing, at this time you're doing like Flair, Tops, all the car signs.
Yeah.
You're going to all the stores. You're doing all these things during the week, and you're hanging out with the guys. And I'm 19.
Yeah.
I can't really kick it. I can't go to no club. I ain't drink back then, so I couldn't go to the club or nothing. I'm like, man, it was a surreal moment to be able to take my family out there. And it's something, I dreamed about. I mean, with my uncle, I'm very close with my uncle, Mike, the Irvins. I mean, this was what we talked about. And it was about to happen. Mm-hmm. So, but you feel official once you get that letter.
Yeah.
Saying you invited.
Once you get the invitation.
Once you get that letter and your agent call you and like, look, we going to New York. Now you like, okay.
We got to go get you some clothes.
Yeah, this is real now. I've been to 2 drafts. I went to my draft and I sat at Nazee's draft with him. So I know, and that was one of the special moments too when he asked me to be one of his 10 to sit at his draft. So it's like I know how that moment feels.
What was your thoughts to hear that your college coach finna be your NBA coach your second year in the league?
You know what, D? I ain't gonna lie. I was excited, man. You know why? Because I knew what to expect. I knew it was gonna be my show. You know what I mean?
you already coming off all rookie team anyway.
Yeah.
It wasn't about to do nothing but get better.
So I'm like, man, this is beautiful. Now, the only thing that blew me is that when he called me, he was like, man, I want to press. I'm like, I'm 1 year in now. I didn't like, coach, you can't press in no NBA. Man, but he wanted to press. But I was excited, man. And it worked out great. That was one of my best years. I made my all-star team my second year in the league up on them. The offense was ran through me. Everything was ran through me. It was beautiful. And then to follow it up even better, he the GM and the head coach. So next year, he give me my max contract.
Right.
I had to do no negotiating, no debate.
He gonna take care of me. Don't worry about it. He gonna take care of me.
Because like in the crazy, when you was talking earlier, but the thing was, Coach P was a big part of helping me pick my people, and this is where all of us connect that too. That people don't know about. That all 3 of us connect that. We all with the same firm, same agent firm.
Yeah.
See, people don't know that we all with the same firm. So when I came out, Coach was like, look, I believe you got an opportunity to be a big-time player, so we need big-time agents. So he brought 3 of them in. I know, obviously, David Falk. At that time, they were called Fame.
Right.
He brought Fame. He brought Fame down there. I signed with them. I ended up going with Mike Higgins. You guys went with Jeff, right?
Yeah,
I saw Jeff in your draft picture. He got it's like he's sitting at the behind one of the press things. Said I always mess with him about that he's sitting there at the thing.
Yeah. So you gotta think. So Jeff was there. So Coach was like, he helped me pick them. He helped me do all the process. I stayed in Kentucky. All these guys leave and go work out in LA. And all this. I stayed in Kentucky all the way until 2 weeks before the draft. I never left. So he was there every day in my workouts, pushing me, doing individual instruction. So it was easy, man. So when he came, I thought it was going to be the best thing in the world, man. But I'm going to be honest. I love Coach P. We're good friends now to this day. He's been great for me all my life. But Coach P could not take losing, man. Man, we traded Chauncey Billups after 40 games, man. I used to trade Chauncey Billups after 40 games. And we drafted him 3rd in the draft. So he just was impatient. You know what I mean? He couldn't take it. When you go from winning 80% of your games and you get to the league and you got to rebuild, he ain't had the patience for it. He couldn't take it. And he was the GM too. Now I played in 2 years. He was there 2.5 years. I probably played with 50 dudes, man. So you got to imagine that. Y'all know how this go. You got to build.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Man traded everybody. He'll sign somebody, trade him. Sign somebody, trade him. So it was just hard on, but I love the fact that he got there. And it paid out for me. He took care of me individually. I can't be mad.
Now you start to really get some helps. They draft Paul Pierce. You know what I'm saying? Y'all start getting the identity. Y'all start making the playoffs. Like, how was it when you got Paul Pierce and you see that, oh, shit, I got a boy with me. Like, we finna do some shit. Like, I was there. And, like, I used to love y'all team because y'all had people like Walter and Eric Williams. And
we love Walter.
Y'all used to have for you and Paul, y'all used to have the best complement players. And I understood why y'all was making the playoffs and y'all was winning games. And so, but when y'all got Paul and all that stuff, like, now y'all a tandem now. Now it ain't all about you, and you don't got to do everything. You got somebody that you can depend on. And then I used to hear that you used to always just encourage the shit out of Paul Pierce to be better.
Yeah, you know what's the crazy part about that? I was so excited. But y'all know Paul fell in the draft. Like, Paul was supposed to be like a 3 pick.
Right.
He fell to 10, like he fell in our lap. So when Paul came in, Paul had a little grudge on his shoulder. He was by none. So I'm like, y'all know I'm from Chicago, so I'm like, man, this is the type of dude I need. He cocky. He don't care. He like, listen, man, I done fell in the draft. I'm here to prove everybody wrong. So he had a swag about himself. He was ready to do damage. And once I saw that in him, and still in him, because my thing was like, man, we just want to get to being a playoff team. You know how you hear all these people talk about championships? Yeah. We got to get back to just being a playoff team. And once Paul got in there, started establishing himself rookie year, and it was messed up because it was a lockout year too, so you really didn't get a chance to see the full glimpse. But once that 2000 man started to hit, I started to see it, bro. He was back down for nobody.
Mm-hmm.
That pull-up game was fierce from 17 feet. He could get to the basket when he wanted to. He didn't mind guarding the best players on the other team. He took pride in guarding the best players. But then his work ethic was impeccable. His work ethic every day was really, really good. That made me really man, look. And then I started offensively. You know, you started to look at a certain guy's game. I'm like, man, Paul get to the free throw line. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He started, I'm like, man. So I started deferring to him, like, bro, you can get to the line. It's fourth quarter. You know how it is back in that day.
Yeah.
Man, you get to the line. They ain't giving me that call.
Straight up, let's get the freebies, man.
Yeah, they giving you these calls. Like, I'm not getting these calls. You know what I'm saying? Then Paul had people think he was out of shape, but Paul just had one of those weird bodies. He didn't have no definition.
Yeah.
So people thought he was like that. But Paul was in great shape. He can get to the line fourth quarter time. But man, he took LA tough. Right now, you see all the stuff on TV and all that, and he comparing himself. But I see it. Like, people, if you don't know him and you ain't running that grind with him every day, he believed he was the best player in the world. You couldn't tell him that he wasn't the best. And that's the way he played himself. And that's how he was able to have a lot of success. And you know what else was good? We could curse each other out. And you guys are best friends now, and I'm pretty sure y'all have had some wars. But we can curse each other out, man. And the next day, we tight. We never had no grudges. I mean, off the court, we were great. We did so many things. We partied. We kicked it at each other's house. We had a great time off the court. But on the court, he allowed me to go at him. He allowed me to, if I felt like he wasn't playing at a level that I thought he could play at, I could curse him out, and he didn't hold a grudge. And we didn't take it and not talk to each other for 3, 4, 5 days. No, we was right back tight right after the game. And I think that's what made our relationship special. We always had that much respect for each other when it came to basketball.
Yeah, we the same way, man. I curse his ass out after every episode, and then we be back cool 5 minutes later. It's nah. Let me ask you. Yeah, you know that. You seen it. Let me ask you this though, bro. Cause when you became now you Cyber Toine. You know what I'm saying? You on the cover of NBA Live, bro. You doing them. They got the, you know what I'm saying? You get how did and I I was literally right there. I got to see it real in person, be in the clubs. We at Grover's working out. We getting to see this, and then as it's happening, how was that from your perspective and your lens? How was this when all of this is happening? You got the Max deal, you getting on live, you know what I'm saying? You employee number 8 for Adidas, you know what I'm saying? You people sleep on that. You really was the first big boy Adidas dude, even before, because you hit before Kobe and them hit. You know what I'm saying? You first, second year All-Star, you already hitting while they were still finding their way. You already got it. So how was that for you?
It was a surreal moment for me because Adidas, when I came in, they kind of took the new kids on the block type of thing. So it was you're going to be the new kid on the block. They kind of create this whole image behind me. And once they did that, that began a little swag. But I'm going to tell you, my rookie year, after All-Star break my rookie year, once they kind of look, we're going to turn you loose, play you 40 minutes a night, you good to go. That's when my confidence grew, man. I just knew I could play in the league. I knew I could compete against these guys. People didn't know, but I was on AI ass for the rookie of the year. We was battling. Neither one of us won. So it was about just really us getting numbers every night. So once I started getting that confidence and playing at that high level, but I'm gonna tell you this funny story. When I made the All-Star game in '98, that's when it really it changed. When I was in that locker room, and I don't think people understand. You guys will understand more. It was Michael Jordan, Reggie Miller, Penny Hardaway, Tim Hardaway. Glenn Rice. Larry Bird was my coach. I was in New York City. I was man, I'm here. After 2 years, I was man, I'm here. And then the following year, it's funny you say that, I get to cover NBA Live. And it's crazy. I remember my agent calling me and was like, look, they're gonna put you on the cover of this video game. And people back then, it wasn't a lot of money. It was like $50,000. I got paid like $50,000. But he was like, you're gonna be on millions of copies. You're gonna be in every home. And I ain't get it. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm 21 years. I'm like, man, 50,000, that ain't nothing. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like at that time, like that ain't nothing. So he like, no, listen to me. This is gonna change your life. So I ended up doing a cover. I ended up putting a little spandex suit, flying to Vancouver.
Yeah.
I put the spandex suit on, did all the moves.
The little light bulbs.
Yeah, I did the whole thing. Did the whole thing, and that was it, man. I started to really feel myself in a situation like now. See, when you leave that All-Star game, even though I felt like Christian Laettner did on the Olympic team at the All-Star game, I felt like him. But once I left the All-Star game, you feel like you can go back to your other guys, like, man, I'm that dude.
Right.
You know, like now y'all got to understand, y'all got to listen to what I'm saying. And that's what kind of gave me the confidence. It was like, yeah, okay, I'm arrived. I'm one of the elite guys in the league. And I played with that confidence after that. It was easy. Even when Paul came, I embraced him on the team, but he knew who team it was when he got there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I also knew how talented he was. I knew I needed to share the light with him. And that's how we was able to become good friends. But yeah, it came after that early, man. Like like it came early after I started having success. I had some lightweight decent numbers my rookie, like 17-9.
That's what I'm saying. You was right there, all rookie team and everything.
I got to play like 40 minutes a night. ML Carr did a good job of like bringing me along slow and then turning me loose like the last 45 games.
When we first got to the league, you know, we still in the era where you got to have a 7-footer at center, and then you got to have a 6'10", big, strong motherfucker at power forward, Karl Malone arms at power forward. But when I used to see you, like, you was the only person, you and Anthony Mason was the only two big motherfuckers that was dribbling the rock.
Right.
Like, when you got to that, and I know when we got to the league, KGs, the dunk, I used to watch you play. And your advantage, then you always feel like you always had the advantage because you can move and you can dribble, and you wasn't like the typical power forward.
Yeah, you know what? I gotta give Coach P credit. I told you guys earlier, when I came in the league, I was supposed to be a 3-man, and they played me strictly at the 3. And you know that D at the 3 spot, man. So you gotta be quick. You know what I mean? It's,
motherfucker, all that other stuff.
We tall, so all that herky-jerky stuff sometimes ain't gonna go on nobody, 6'6".
Yeah.
So Coach P came in and was like, man, I'm moving you to the power forward position. And I was like, man, at first, obviously I don't want the bump and grind. Our power forward is different now. See, this is the thing. See, when I came in, it was Charles Oakley at the 4, Anthony Mason, Grant. Hold on. Grant, Dennis Rodman, Dale Davis, Antonio Davis.
Man.
I'm not like I'm keeping it funky.
PJ Brown,
Karl Malone.
Yeah.
Power forward, so I really don't want this action anyway. I don't want to have to guard him. So the coach was like, you're going to have such an advantage. Just listen to me. And this time, Chris Webber at the 4, Juwan Howe. I mean, there's some the guys. So I'm like, you're going to have an advantage. He was like, look, on defense, learn how to front. He said, we're going to go back to college. You're going to have to learn how to front and learn how to use your elbows. I'm like, all right. So all of a sudden, I moved to the 4. And, man, listen. I'm at the 3, 1-4 pick and roll. Them big dudes trying to close out on me. Man, the flow just got big. I can shoot the 3. I can take him off the dribble, make a play for somebody else. And that's what really took off when he moved me to the 4 my second year. And having that, but I never believe nobody could guard me at the 4, not one-on-one in that position, especially coming off a pick and roll and catching it. You got to catch me off a live dribble. It was unbelievable. And the best thing
closing out.
And the good thing too, and that's another reason that Coach P came, he knew my skill set. See, a lot of coaches sometimes don't know your skill set. He knew my skill set. He knew I could pass. He knew how good I could handle the basketball. And he really gave me a unique opportunity to do that. And that's what gave me the misadvantage. And I'm gonna tell you something, even to fast forward, the best season I ever had, the funnest season I ever had, I've had great individual seasons. man, playing for the Dallas Mavericks, man.
Mm.
Don Nelson utilized my skill level better than any coach, better than Coach Pitino. I mean, I started at point guard about 6 games when Steve Nash was out. I mean, just, 4-1 pick and roll with a point guard setting picks for us.
Yeah.
Right.
That's you know what I mean? All these type of different plays and stuff that he had, put together, just showcasing my skill set. So I was very fortunate enough that every coach I played for always knew how to utilize me and allow me to handle the basketball.
I'm glad you just brought that up because, especially in today's game, like you mentioned earlier, you, D, guys like you, we see a lot of that. But when you think about what you see these dudes doing now, the 6'11", 6'10" dudes trying to handle the ball, trying to shoot threes, like you are the epitome of the beginning of that. Like you know what I'm saying? Like literally you telling me how you started games at the point. I know more than most because I seen it not only in the league, but I seen it at home at the summer, every summer for so many years. So it's like, I love it. That's what I love about what we do. We get to bring you up here and say that and be like, nah, like, think back. If you really want to think back, like one of the first dudes, like I can remember one of my favorite quotes. I call it legendary quotes from Toine. It was like the dude asked you, yo, Antoine, the reporter, why you shoot so many threes? Because it ain't no fours. Like what you mean? Like who you talking to? And then I'ma still persist to do what I'm doing. You not phasing me. And I always love that. I don't feel like you get your proper due for having that impact on these guys. Like when we talk to these guys, KD brought you up, you know what I'm saying? Like these dudes watch, the hoopers know.
And it's crazy, Q, to even add to that. When I was playing, I remember I used to be, after the game, the media be like, I done shot 8 threes in the game or 9. They'd be like, man, why you shoot so many threes? I'm like, man, that's part of my game. They used to criticize me, big articles of, he don't want to post up. He don't want to be play inside. Yeah. He don't want to do this. And I'm looking at these guys now today. I'm like, man. And D, I know you feel the same way. Man, I feel like shit. I'll probably make $300 million in this time, man.
Oh my God.
Oh, run the check.
I'm definitely getting the $200 million check. I get
it. Oh yeah, that's a no-brainer right there. That's a no-brainer.
Hey. Listen,
these guys averaging 12 points, making 100.
I'll be looking at these guys like, man, I'll be like, man, if I could have played this era, I missed my beat.
Man, you hear me?
Yeah.
I'm a 4-man in this area. I'm a 4, killing it.
Man, I'm like, I missed my beat in making this money. So I'm like, man, this is crazy. I know exactly what you're talking about, but I'm happy to see the game evolve. I mean, we took the centers out the game a little bit now. So, I mean, it's unfortunate for a lot of the centers, but, but besides that, I love to see a game like this. I mean, I love to see Giannis bring that thing up the flow like he is. Draymond Green. Think about this, man. Draymond Green going to be a Hall of Famer, man. Off his skill set package, being able to handle the basketball and make plays for others.
And being a champion that many times.
Yeah, so just think about that. Those guys that's doing that could be effective. You even look at Dirk, you look at Kristaps Porzingis. You know what I'm saying? You look at Luka Doncic, who's probably 6'6", 6'7", but you're saying guys now that's pure point guards. Well, Magic was the guy that kind of was the only guy that did that. But then you came in, D, I came in, Lamar Odom. Guys that started to really handle the ball outside. So I love it. I love seeing the game where it's at right now. I still like the center aspect of the game, but I do love the fact that we got 4s and 3s and 6'8", 6'9" that can make plays like guards.
I was just telling Tim Thomas this. I was like, man, I remember when I came out, it was so much hype around me. And one of the things they used to always say was like, oh, man, 6'9", he can dribble. He the first to do this. And I used to be like, nah, man, I seen Tim Thomas, Toine. I seen Lamar Odom. Like, these are the guys when I seen y'all do it, it was like, man, I can be that. Or I can dribble like that. To even speak on that, who gave you the confidence to be this big dude and dribble?
Man, it go back to the old days. It go back to our Chicago, man, one of our Chicago legends. And Isaiah Thomas and Magic Johnson were my 2 favorite players. Y'all know, y'all growing up in Chicago, Isaiah Thomas is a name, especially Catholic school. Guy that always, I remember number 11 used to be my number in elementary school. I mean, them the guys I implemented and wanted to be like was Magic Johnson and Isaiah Thomas. And I used to always just dribble all the time. Like, man, I used to dribble to keep the ball in my hand. And I just actually just grew. When I got to 8th grade, I got 6'4", and then by my end of my senior year, I'm 6'9".
That's crazy, bro.
I had huge growth spurts, but I always wanted to be that point guard. Now,
Yeah,
Anthony Davis story. You know how Anthony Davis had his big growth spurt. I was kind of like that a little bit too.
I was always tall, and it was like when you played 21 or something, you know, as you hooping, it's like only way you gonna get the rock is if you out there dribbling with the with the rest of them. So I had to start dribbling if I wanted to get some action. You know, as a big man, even on the hoop courts outside, they'd be like, hey, man, get your big ass under the goal.
Yeah,
you know and I just refused to do that, and I wanted to be with the guards and stuff, and it worked out.
Man, I wasn't fortunate as y'all, man. I was short for a long time. I was short and fat. Then I thought I was on my way though, Toine. I went freshman to sophomore year, 8th grade to freshman year, I went 5'11", 6'2". Freshman to sophomore year, I went 6'2", 6'5". I'm like, I'm on my way. For sophomore to junior year, I'm still like, fuck my 3 inches at? Where they at? Where's that? I thought I was about to be 6'8" this summer, nigga. It's over. Never really maybe got like, it's debatable, but like I'm 6'5" or 6'6", one of the two.
You don't know your actual height?
You know, I mean, with shoes on, I'm absolutely every bit of 6'6" and 3/4. That was my official NBA height with shoes on.
You don't even know how you go.
I was gonna ask them like our Knuckleheads thing came from celebrations. You know what I'm saying? Like, didn't many people celebrate in the 90s or really celebrate, period? And you see Reggie Miller and them do the little Michael Jackson dance, do the starting five. You see Mark Jackson kind of do his thing, but one of the things was like your shimmy. You know what I'm saying? After you out there, you working them folks, you hitting them folks with that.
Yeah.
Like, I remember I did that shit when I was in school. Like, you gotta give that. And you see how they celebrate these days. Like I tell folks, I'm like, we weren't the first people to celebrate, but we was over celebrating more than any other people. And that shit was a lot of people was taking that shit as disrespectful. Like,
that's true.
Yeah. They dunking, running this shit. Like, we took a lot of bows and knock your ass down.
Yeah.
Back in that era. But now how you see they just throwing up the threes and just doing their thing, like, man, and you one of the pioneers of that. You one of the ones that I seen growing up doing that. Tell us about how you got the shimmy from
It came from college. It's crazy. So y'all know in college, so all the guys on the team, we used to always, you're in the dorm room, you messing around. Right. But we used to play around. We used to rap, do all type of things. I used to always dance and mess around. So one day I just told the guy, I'm gonna do it in the game. And y'all gonna know Rick Pitino, one of the real, disciplinarians. Like, he don't let you do nothing. So one day, one of the games, I dunked on somebody. It just came out natural.
Right.
It was one of those games that came out natural. But I was able to do it and get back in the press.
Right.
So coach was like, you know what I mean? So when the film session, coach was like, what? He was like, you got back in it. So I used to just dance in college. If you go back to all my college footage, I was more polished in the league.
Yeah.
But I used to dance in college. I used to dunk on people and dance and shake in college. And it just carried on to the league. And it's crazy you say that, Darius. I was in the league doing it. And I used to remember the Boston media used to be like, why you dance? Why are you doing that? Like, it made it seem like it was disrespectful. But I didn't care. It just came, and it got to a point where it just would come out natural. And we was on a big run, or I done made a nice move on somebody, it just come out. I couldn't stop it. It was just part of my DNA after that. It was only one coach I played for, and that was Don Nelson. When I got traded there, like, hey, we don't do that shimmy. One coach, he was like, man, look, I don't want you doing that shimmy. And if you really look at any footage from me in Dallas, I never did it in Dallas. That was my only career that I never danced in Dallas. But everywhere else, it was on. But it just came a part of my DNA. It's just something I picked up from college, just messing around with the guys, and I just took it to the league. And I think now I like it. I like when you guys had y'all thing, y'all hit y'all head. I even like Melo when he do the three on this thing. He started that. Everybody else, not Steph, Trey Young. There's a few guys got to call me and get permission to do the shimmy. They've been doing
right.
They need to put a call in to me and let me know. You know what I'm saying? And I let them do it.
To leave Boston, like after you done put all them years in and like all them years that you done got close with Paul and, you know, y'all done builded this and so forth on, and you still got work in you. I couldn't believe it. Like, man, they let Toine go. Like, I don't see how they can replace it. And they didn't replace it. Like, once you left, it was like, we down.
Man, listen, man, I cried like a baby, D. You tell me, I couldn't believe it, man. Like, I was in my 7th year. We had finally turned the corner. We had started to be a consecutive playoff team. We probably was one piece away. We ran to New Jersey net the 2 years. I mean, obviously 2 years back to back. And New Jersey went to the finals. I mean, obviously they didn't perform well. I mean, they just ran to the Lakers. But Jason Kidd was in his prime. You know, Kenyon Martin was a freak athletically. I mean, you know, they had Kerry Kittles, Keith Van Horn. They were loaded. That was the team that we had to get past. We knew that. We felt like we was a point guard away. And, you know, and the organization decided to bring in Danny Ainge. I'm going to keep it 100. They brought in Danny Ainge. And in this game, y'all know how this goes with certain executives. Danny Ainge did not like me. He didn't. For whatever reason, I couldn't, to this day, because I'm going to tell you a story, but to this day, I don't know why he don't like me. He did not like me, and he traded me right before the first game, and I was sick because I thought we was on our way to do something special.
Yeah.
And the crazy part, a year and a half later, I get an opportunity to come back.
I was about to say that. You ended up coming back.
Yeah, I come back to even a better team, a better situation, a better coach. So Doc Rivers, the coach, they was like one game over 500. I'm in Atlanta putting up 20 and 10, but we losing like crazy. We ain't winning no game. So my agent like, look, you can go back to Boston. I know you don't really like it. I know you don't really mess with names. You can go back there and maybe make the playoffs and enjoy the rest of the season. Or you can just stay here and play the season out and be a free agent. I'm like, you know what? I'll go back. I'm like, cool, I'll go back. You know what I'm saying? Me and Paul were still close. I'm like, Gary Payton was on the team. They was going to be able to keep GP.
GP was on the team.
Yeah.
Now he was with Jordan then.
Yeah, you know, Doc Rivers, you know what I'm saying, was the head coach. So I'm like, man, I'll go back. We went 12 out of 13. We win the division. Through the process, Danny Ainge come holler at me like, look, man, don't beat me up in free agency. We got something good, special here. I'm thinking I'm going to be there. I'm thinking I'm going to be there for another 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Man, we get the free agency, man, that man offered me $1. Man, that man offered me $1, man. That's a true story, man. This is crazy. And people that know basketball can do their research. You can Google it. So the man that offered me $1, I'm like, okay. I had to call the ownership. I said, look, man, I need to sign a trade in order for me to get a decent contract. Y'all gonna do me like this? And the owners was like, you know what, Toine, we're gonna make sure that Danny don't do this. They had to step in, man, and tell Danny Ainge to do a sign and trade. I think to this day, and you guys can Google it, I was a part of the biggest sign and trade in NBA history. 13 players to do a sign and trade. That's how bad the man didn't want to take no money back. When y'all see those 13 players' names that's in that sign and trade, y'all gonna laugh. That's gonna be guys y'all never even heard of before. Y'all ain't remember they even played in the game. That's how bad it was, man. But to get back to the original question, that's how much I love Boston. I consider Boston my second home, man. Still to this day. It ain't nothing but love. Even with Danny being there, the people in the front office haven't changed. The ownership group is still there. They took over 2 years before I left. They're still there, and they treat me like I'm a part of the family. Yeah. You know. I have none but love for the Celtics, man. That's my second home. And the city of Boston. When I'm out there in public and just going to restaurants and just doing social things, man, they take good care of me.
You get to Miami and it's a lot of
It's
a lot of star power on this Miami team, but you with the head honcho, you with the mafia when you get to Miami. Like, this organization is not just a regular organization. Hey, you know, they checking that fat every time you walk through the door and all that stuff. So what you usually do these last 8 years you've been in the league. I know Miami Heat was hard on you, but man, to see you, somebody that I worked out against every summer and tested my game against to win a championship, I was so happy and proud for like you and GP and you know what I'm saying, like them players.
Everybody.
I just looked like y'all was a crew.
Man, listen, that was first, like that's the craziest. That was one of the best times and the craziest times of my life. I'll never pass it up for anything in the world. But the beginning part of it was one just to get there. I remember my agent, Pat Riley, calling me and said, "Hey, look, I need you to call Shaq." Now, imagine y'all know I know Shaq obviously was playing, but he ain't my guy. So he like, man, call Shaq. You gotta tell Shaq that he gotta take a pay cut. So I'm like, well, I gotta tell him. He like, look, tell him you coming. Tell him you're gonna take a pay cut. You coming to play, and he'll probably do it because this is how bad Shaq want to win another title. And y'all know the year before that they had just lost to the Detroit Pistons.
Right, yeah.
So I go there. I call Shaq like, man, big fella, I'm trying to come aboard, but you got to do. So Shaq could have signed a 3-year, $90 million deal. I think it was like 3 years, $1 million. Instead, he took 5 years, $100 million. So basically, he added 2 years.
Oh,
yeah,
that was love.
So Shaq took that.
Did the math real fast right there. The math real fast. Go ahead.
So to fit me into the cap. So you know what I'm saying. So Shaq did what he had to do to fit me in the cap, which was great. So I was excited about that. And then I get there. Not only Shaq and D Wade there, Lonzo Mourning there, GP there. Hold on, it get better. Posey, my dog Posey, Udonis Haslam, Jay Will.
White Chocolate.
You know what I'm saying?
DA.
Delonte Wright was a rookie, young guy. Young guy was good. Then we had DA, Shannon. I'm loaded. You know what I'm saying? I'm loaded. But I always tell people that season was so amazing. I never partied and played basketball like that in my life. I'm talking about this. Me, GP, Posey, UD, man, listen. Not so much Shaq and D Wade, but us four, God, man, we got it in.
Hey, I remember you told me, you was like, hey, D-Ma, I just need to be in shape for 20 minutes. That's all I'm getting. I just need to be in shape for 20 minutes. Everything else is itself.
So look, Stan Van Gundy was the head coach when I got there. So Stan bring me in. He like, look, man, I can't run no plays for you in the beginning. Y'all got to remember, I'm coming off 20-10. So, I'm still getting put that thing in the hole. He's like, look, we can't run no plays for you. I'm running everything for Shaq and D Wade. Everything. I respect that. You know what I mean? How can I argue that? I mean, we're going to run everything through Shaq and D Wade. He said, look, but if you come off the bench, I'm going to run everything for you. I said, okay, coach. So I did it for the first 20 games. Everything come out was about 12, 13, something light. But I ain't playing number 25 minutes a night. And I ain't never had this much energy in my life. Now, y'all know my background now. I used to lead the league in minutes, like top 5 in minutes and games played. So I'm good. I'm playing 25 minutes a night in the best shape of my life. Man, my nightlife went to another level, baby. I'm at a whole other level. I'm working both. Hey, I'm burning both ends of the candle. I'm good. Man, Coach, Pat Riley took over. He was like, look, I play my money. I'm like, what the hell? He said, I play my money. He said, you start. He like, look, I'm going to start you. You're going to play the first 6-7 minutes. I'm going to take you out early. I'm going to still give you your second unit, but you got to start. And I'm going to tell you why I started. He said I was the best entry passer on the team to get it to Shaq. Yeah. And I spaced the floor.
Yeah.
With my 3-point shooting. He like, look, so that's the only reason I'm going to start you. And he said, I'm going to take you out early, and I'm still going to give you your second unit look. I said, okay. And that's how we roll, man. We roll like that. But I ain't going to lie to you, man. That was the closest team outside my college team that I've ever been on in the NBA. Now, I've been close with players, but I've never been close with teams. Man, we had a saying, I think you guys may have seen it, 15 strong. When we used to put all the stuff in the bucket, but man,
I got that card. I still got that card. My agent Jeff gave it to us.
Yeah, man, we used to do 15 strong, but it was really legit, man. We used to be. It never was a time on the road where you ain't see 7, 8 guys.
Yeah.
At dinner and hanging. No matter what was going on, we only won 52 games, and not saying that's a little, but we supposed to won 60 plus that year.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? We supposed to have 65 wins, number 1 seed. that wasn't us because we had too much stuff going on. We was doing all type of things. You know what I mean? So that wasn't the goal. We just knew when we got to the playoffs, we was gonna be able to beat anybody. But we was
so tell me, like, because this what people sleep on, right? And I had to tell somebody this on Twitter one day because it was, you know how it be on Twitter, the social media back and forth. They were saying this, that, and the third. And I saw something, I was like, hold up, y'all sleep. The year they won that championship, Walk Dog was the second leading scorer behind D-Wade. No disrespect. Right. I love Shaq to death, and that's the most dominant dude to ever play the game, in my opinion. And that's the big dog, the OG, but, like, this is a fact. This is a fact. Like, my dog did many clutch things and many big-time moments, and he was the second guy that he was.
Yeah, Shaq, the thing with Shaq, that was a tough series for Shaq. They had two good centers. They put Shaq in trouble, man. They had Eric Dampier and Diop. Both of those guys put Shaq in foul trouble early. For whatever reason, he was getting 2 fouls early.
You got 2-3 bodies to throw at him. It's 2-3 against 1.
Yeah, so it was tough for Shaq early on. So Alonzo played great. You know what I'm saying? I did my job, and we done talked about this many a times. I done heard you guys talk about D-Wade finals is one of the top 5 probably ever finals.
Oh,
y'all know that 35 a night, 6 he got a night was incredible.
He became him.
Yeah, that's when Flash became Flash. You know what I mean? So you know that finals was something special to be a part of that. He willed us to about 2 of those victories on his own.
For sure.
Game 3, Game 5, he put them games on his back. So we played with somebody that was special. So Shaq just had a lot of foul trouble. It wasn't the fact that people didn't understand that, but other guys stepped up. And that season was so crazy, man. I was more, like I always tell people, like, man, when I played in the league, I said, man, one thing I'm always going to remember is that group I played with. I played with 4 Hall of Famers. D-Wade going to be a Hall of Famer one day, but I think I played with Shaq, Lonzo Mourning, GP. To see Alonzo, man, and a lot of people don't talk about this, to see what he did that year to play, the medicine he was on. He had one kidney. I mean, the man was taking 80 pills a day, man.
You know, we knew. You know me, Jeff. We got. You know, we knew intimately, and like you say, he saved y'all a few of them games. And I can remember talking to D Wright and like D Wright and D Wade being like, when I got there, they used to be like, how hard Zoe used to be on everybody, and like, you know what I'm saying, like he was, you know, this is years removed, and then D Wade and D Wright being like, now I could understand where he was coming from, and you saying that made me think about it now. Like, he done lost a kidney, like he out here playing. He's only playing to win. He don't need no money. He done achieved all these accolades. Like, he wants to win. And like D Wright used to be like, bro, he tell big bro, like, dog, that boy used to always tell us, like, we get the tripping in the game. He be like, all right, he come in that thing, like, all right, y'all fucking with my chip. Y'all fucking with my chip. Like,
like that's the special part about it, man. Like, I was like, man, to be a part of that with those guys, to see how bad they won. You know, GP never had one. He got one.
Yep.
You know, it was a special year. Then Shaq, obviously, with his little beef, obviously, God rest Kobe. He was trying to get one on Kobe. Kobe was trying to get one on him. Y'all know they had that little beef going on.
Yep.
But it was like, that season was so intense. But, man, I've never had that much fun playing with guys and bought into just winning the chip. And then we enjoyed Miami to the fullest, baby. We enjoyed the Miami, both ends of the floor, baby. I ain't going to lie to you.
They have nice amenities.
But it was the best thing, man. I was in the best shape of my life down there playing and enjoyed every minute of it and got me a championship out of it. I'll never forget it.
When they brought me into Memphis, they was releasing you and they were signing me.
And that's the thing. D followed me up in Memphis, took my job in Memphis. He didn't let me, and then the man took my job in Charlotte. So look, I'm trying they'll tell you that story, didn't you? So look, I'm in Charlotte, right? I'm trying to get back in the league. This is the time I'm out the league. I'm trying to get a job. So Nazi on the team, Nas like, man, Coach Larry Brown for to have the guys down for a couple weeks, work out. I fly down, beat D. We down there playing every day. We hooping. I done got back in some decent shape. I'm playing. I'm thinking I'm playing good, right? Man, I go to my meeting. I go to the meeting with Larry Brown. Like, man, Coach, man, just bring me to camp. You know, you play well. I like you, but I think I'm gonna go a little young. I'm gonna bring D Miles in. I said, I'm gonna bring D Miles to camp. I said, man, I can't get past this. No.
Hey, I'm out there. I'm lurking for jobs too.
Hey, tell me this though. You more than either of us have had like a front row and a more personable relationship with MJ. Tell me how you felt about sitting there watching The Last Dance from what you know. Like you say, I remember looking at you in the dock, you know what I'm saying, 98 All-Star game, you in there like, look at young Walk Dog in the building, you know what I'm saying? Like, how was it for you? Because you then had so many different experiences hanging with them, being around them, and you really, y'all partners like that. So how was that watching The Last Dance for you?
Man, I'm a basketball junkie, so I was excited, man, like any other fan, just to watch it and to see the behind-the-scenes footage. But for me, it just kind of let me know that everything that the personal level that I was dealing with, how competitive he was. And I think sometimes we use that word as an understatement. People don't understand the word competitive until that Michael Jordan name should be in the dictionary. But they don't understand that. But it's crazy, man, because I know, and you guys know this, how we used to go at it. We call each other, every name in the book, how he challenged me every day. But for me, it's special because I ain't know him at that time. So I know him. I played against him. I wasn't in his inner circle. I wasn't from that 96, 98 teams. I just played against him. So I wasn't in the circle. And you guys know how this go, man. In 2001, man, I'm riding in my car. I'll never forget it. I'm riding in my car. And my phone rang. This back then when you could call people private. You answer private call back then.
Right.
Michael Jordan. He like, man, I need you to come to the gym with me. I'm like, okay. He like, man, I'm thinking about making a comeback. Don't tell nobody. But he was like, look, I need you to come to the gym, and I need you to make sure all the guys come to the gym. We finna. I want to see if I can come back. I'm like, okay. Now y'all know how this is, man. It's Michael Jordan that's called my phone.
Right.
I done changed all vacation plans. Ain't no vacation. I'm back.
Right.
Ain't none of that going on. It's all about hooping. I done called my mama like, I'm in the gym. I get there the first day with Lil Who's gym. It's me and him upstairs with Tim Grover. Now at this time, I'm 5 years in. Y'all know how we do. We hoop every day.
Yeah.
We weren't messing with no, we weren't messing with no weights like that. We'll do something a little bit, but we weren't messing with no weights.
You talking to me and his, the muscle head was, but me and you, we weren't messing with no weights. We just came to hoop.
Right, we just hooping every day. So I go up top with Tim Grover. We lifting weights. I'm doing whatever MJ doing. I'm like, man, that's crazy. So we got to lift weights 4 days a week. At this time, Tim Grover ain't my trainer. I didn't even know he was my trainer until I got that invoice at the end of the summer. That's
right. Hey, boy, what the way?
That's a whole nother story. But I'm with that man. I'm working out with the man. And then it just happened, man. Our relationship just started to build. The way he pushed himself at 38, 39 to get himself back in shape, the way he competed every day. Y'all know this. Obviously, you guys were part of the runs just like I was, how we competed every day. Became special. But then, like you say, I got an opportunity to hang with him off the court. Man started inviting me to his home, around his family, doing social events. I traveled with the grand openings with him, restaurants, bar, whatever he had his hand on. I was invited. I was a part of the group. I was on the private plane. I was riding with him. So I got a chance to become a part of the crew. And, it's special to me. Those 6-7 years that I got a chance to be with him was incredible. Prior to that, I thought he was the best player in the world. After watching The Last Dance, I realized more that he was the best player to ever play the game, no question. And it's just not the fact that I take away from the LeBron James, the Kobe Bryants, the Magic, and all those guys. I just believe it's nobody that wanted to win more than him that took it that way. I think Kobe a little bit had a passion like that. I think Magic did. But even LeBron, and I love LeBron. LeBron's one of the top players that ever played the game. He in my top 5. But I don't think their passion is at that level. You know what I mean? The way he wanted to keep the core of the team together. The way he motivated and pushed guys, not just the Scottie Pippins, to push the 10th, 11th, and 12th guy to be good. Right. I mean, he did it in his own way. I mean, he did it, he will verbally abuse you, and you had to be a man enough to take it. But the way he pushed everybody every day was incredible. So I enjoyed that aspect of the documentary more than anything. And then it kind of like, you guys know, like, man, I'm glad to know that this really was his personality, because y'all know how this go, man. Every day.
That's what we saw.
Yeah, that's what we saw every day. Cursing us out. We playing pickup ball, games of 7.
Yeah.
And y'all know how he wanted to win in games of 7. So
Facts.
I was like, man, this is the same dude. I get it. Like, I was like, all I kept saying is like, I get it. This him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, staying in that same vein, right? Just speak on how impactful, like, on your career and all of us on here, like, them runs at hoops with TG and, like, even, like, okay, when I first started, obviously it was with Mike and those guys was there, but even moving on forward past that, like, how impactful were those summer sessions that we had of, like, literally just iron sharpening iron, the best of the best, people coming from all over. But even when it was just Chicago, it was the best of the best, and it was enough. But we often had people from all over. But just talk about how those runs at hoops with TG and all us, how that like just sent us back into the season ready.
Yeah, I think it shows us what type of players that we were. Myself, you, Darius, the way we pushed each other, talked trash, the way every day was such a competitive day. If you got me that day, I got you every day. I think it just, people don't understand Chicago basketball. I know Michael makes the runs legendary when he comes, but they were already legendary.
Yeah.
And people don't understand how competitive and every day you look forward to battling each other. And the beauty of it is that we can battle each other between the lines. And then that Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we at the club.
Tuesday, we at the buzz.
Yeah.
We at the buzz. You already know I'm about to buzz you. And if I get you, I'm talking crap tonight at the club. You already know.
And that's what made it special, how we pushed each other every day. And then people don't understand, it was probably 25, 30 pros. I'm not even talking about the European.
There you go. The Euros having problems getting on the court someday.
Right. I'm not talking about the European professionals. I'm talking about just the pros. You got to think us three, Michael Finley, Juwan Howard, Tim Hardaway, Bobby Simmons. I mean, the list goes on and on.
Eddie.
He had all the Bulls players that wanted to come over and play. Like, it was incredible. So people don't understand the runs. And that's what sometimes now in Chicago, I get so disappointed in our young guys, because I have so much respect for them, but I get so disappointed in them that they didn't keep the torch going that was built. And I go to Derek, and I blame Derek and Anthony Davis and Tony Allen, Mon Shumpert, all the guys, those kind of late guys that played, they didn't keep that torch going, man. They didn't understand the history of that game. The reason why I love Chicago basketball is because I was a ball boy watching Mark Aguirre, Kevin Duckworth, Terry Cummins, Ken Norman, Ricky Green. You know what I'm saying? I grew up watching those type of guys play. That's what made me want to do it. And I thought we did a good job of showing them Chicago basketball, being present every day, playing. We was present in the summer league. Yes.
Just for me, you know what I'm saying, as a young boy, like, I just gotta salute you on being that example. You know what I'm saying? Not just you along with Juwan, y'all two, Mike Finley. Y'all guys was like real examples for me. A Chicago kid, you know what I'm saying, who sat there, I watched you, literally got a chance to be right there as a freshman, seeing you play against my cousin Rico, seeing you go to Kentucky, seeing you take these steps, go to the McDonald's game. And that's like when I'm sitting there like, all of these things are doable for me. You was a kid from the inner city, a kid that, you know what I'm saying, walked the same streets as me, took the same public transportation as me. So I just want to give you your flowers and salute you and thank you for being you know what I'm saying, from all aspects, you know what I'm saying, from the way you was with your crew. I wanted to be like that. Like you made everybody got to experience this. It wasn't a selfish thing. Like D-Miles said, the battles against you, the times we in the gym and we get to talk before, after we hoop, and as a Chicago boy that came up under you and watched and saw you take the league by storm and be you and represent us. Every time you was doing, I always had pride, like, that Chicago boy, that's one of us. Like, you know what I mean? So, like, I appreciate you, bro.
But let me tell you this, though, before y'all get me off here for 30 seconds. One thing y'all got to understand, too, and we all from Chicago, and it's been embedded in my blood from everywhere. We take care of home, and I feel like we all been through the wars and the battles together. That's why it's real easy for us to all, come together as grown men now as we progress in our careers. But for Chicago, man, you guys represent the city really well. I think sometimes people forget how strong Chicago basketball is. And you guys always make sure to reiterate that. And also keep the light to a lot of Chicago guys. You guys have had all the Chicago stars on there, from the women basketball players to the men. I'm watching from afar always as a fan. So you guys have done a terrific job with that, kind of carrying the torch. And that's all I want to do. Guys that carry the torch, that carry the torch for us. So I got that respect for the Marcus Wise, the Isaiah Thomases in the world, and what they did for the city of Chicago. Hopefully, myself, you guys, we feel like we hopefully made some type of impact to help the younger generation coming up. But y'all should know, man, y'all doing a good job and giving real basketball perspectives that the fans like to hear. So keep it up, man.
Oh, man,
appreciate that, G.
Yes, sir. Keep it up.